Hello lovely people, welcome to the Geek Cupboard. I am Penge and welcome to this super special bonus part of the Cities Skylines No Car Challenge series. Now if you have been following the series through, you will probably know what this is about, but if you don't know what it's about, or if you are new to this and you've sort of stumbled across this little experimental video, allow me to explain. We did a challenge series for Cities Skylines in the Geek Cupboard. And the challenge was to get ourselves a Megalopolis-sized city, which is 75,000 people. We've got 78,741, so we succeeded in our challenge. But we wanted to get a city of that size, but give nobody access to a car. So everybody had to abandon their cars up here, and the entire city was car-free. Other vehicles were allowed. So, you know, emergency services vehicles, refuse trucks, that kind of stuff, lorries, you know, transporting sort of goods to the industries and stuff. That was allowed, just nobody was allowed their own car. And to do that, we used this. We used a mod, the Traffic Manager President's Edition mod, and it allows you to click on a road and it allows you to pick what vehicles you would like from the vehicles restrictions bit down here. So every single road that we constructed, every single road, dual carriageway, one-way road, everything, roads with cycle lanes, roads with trees, every road we constructed had that applied to it. Every single bit of every road except the bit up here where they drove in off of the highway. So every bit had cars banned. There are no cars in the city. Cars were banned, and we managed to get to 78,741 people. The only place where cars were allowed was up here. So they drove off of the highway, freeway, whatever that is, the big road at the top kind of thing, came down here, got onto this little roundabouty bit, which was called the coat hanger roundabout, but it's since changed its shape a tiny bit. And they would come in here and they would have to deposit their car somewhere around here, because it was these particular road bits where the ban sort of took place. And they'd have to deposit their car up here and then make their way into town. So when the actual challenge started, we didn't really have any public transport or anything, so they'd have to walk. They'd have to get all the way down here and walk and go to their house. But, you know, as the game progressed, we were able to give them public transport. So, they've got a tube station, they've got buses and trams, and they've got airports and, blimps and all that kind of stuff. They've got lots and lots of different ways to get down into the main city. But now, what we've done is, we have now removed the car ban. That's what this video is about. So we completed the actual challenge in the series. It took 21 parts. We got to a Megalopolis. We got over 75,000 people in a city where cars were banned. And that was pretty good. That was pretty impressive. But then a comment appeared maybe a couple of parts ago, I think, on one of the previous videos that said, that's very, very good. If you succeed, can you then take off the car ban and see what happens to your city? So that is what we're going to do today. We're going to see what absolute carnage and nonsense unfolds when we remove a car ban in a city that is designed, or was designed, to have cars banned. Because it's quite reliant on public transport, is Cupboardtopia. It's very reliant on public transport. So if we shove a load of cars in, I don't really know what's going to happen. So I've spent a good 30 minutes maybe a tiny bit more, maybe 35, 40 minutes going through and removing these things, so the car bans from every single road in the game so far. Every single little street and alleyway and nook and cranny, I have taken them off. Now, I've gone over it a lot of times. I don't think there's any left. There might be one or two little stragglers, like a little cul-de-sac or something, which I haven't kind of unbanned cars from. But for the most part, all the main big thoroughfares and roads and that are all now accepting cars once more. So let's see. Let's see what kind of nonsense unfolds now. We're going to push the game forward. We're going to see what happens. Let's move it on to Speed 3. So people are now probably thinking, hang on a minute. I can drive down these roads now. I can go down those roads into town. Now I'm just going to check. Yeah, look. These are the first people. Hang on. Who are you? A sedan. Driving to a parking spot. Going to the amusement park. So you are driving to the amusement park souvenir shop. You are a good candidate to follow, Mr. Sedan. We will follow you. Absolutely, we will follow you on your journey all the way down to the other side of the city. Because the amusement park is pretty much on the other side of the whole city. So let's see how your journey goes. So you're coming through here. This is very lovely. So this bit previously was all banned for cars, which is why there's bus stops, there's tube stations and all that kind of stuff. Now, I would say you've gone the wrong way there. I would say you don't know where you're going at all. You are a bad choice of a car to follow. Where are you going? That's not where the amusement park souvenir shop is. You've gone the wrong way. You want to go back into the city, buddy. But never mind. Do you know what? Let's not follow you anymore, because you're going the wrong way. because you're just a bit silly. But look, cars are on the streets of Cupboardtopia. It's very weird. It's very, very weird, because I have probably played over a day's worth of this. I probably played this for well over 24 hours, and there were never cars on the streets. There were plenty of other things on the streets, primarily trams, which I've learned actually are a bit of a burden on the streets, but there definitely were no cars. Well, on occasion there were a few. In fact, I tell a lie, on occasion there were a few little cars here or there. So yeah, we got rid of those. We either destroyed them with the actual button you can get, so you can click on a car like that, click that button, it removes it, or there is a generic button in the actual commands for in the options screen for Traffic Manager President's Edition, where you can just go and remove all the cars. So yeah, there are a few straggler cars, but nothing ever like this. So this is very, very odd to see. Look at the crowds of people. Where are they all going? Are they all going into the underground still? See, maybe they're just used to it now. Maybe that's what people do now. They just go and use the public transport, which would kind of make sense. So now, oh no, but look, there are cars coming in. There are now cars trying to come in. They've already got stuck in the traffic. They're already trapped in the bus traffic. Okay, so now what we need to do is, I think we need to leave this running for maybe 5 minutes. I'll just leave it running on top speed for 5 or so minutes, and we'll just see what happens. And immediately, look, immediately the population is dropping. Immediately the traffic problems are becoming fairly prevalent because people are moving out already. People are leaving already. Oh no, and now some people have come back again. They've realised that it's probably not so bad. But yeah, what I'll do is I'll leave it going for maybe 15 or 20 minutes just to let some cars come into the city, because, you know, they're still getting used to the fact that you're allowed to drive in. But yeah, they are coming in. They are coming in. It's very exciting. So yeah, we'll wait for some more cars to come in. I'll run it forward a little while, and then we'll come back and see, hopefully, what it's like, and hopefully it'll be okay. Although I suspect there may be some very terribly bad areas of traffic. But yeah, we'll wait and see. Okay, so I've left it about 15 minutes. Do you want to know what I went and did? I went and changed my bed sheet. That's how exciting I am. That is the rock and roll life I lead. So I've left it, yeah, 15 minutes or so, I think. That doesn't involve all the time changing my sheets. I went to get a drink as well. It doesn't take me 15 minutes to change a few pillows and stuff. So I've come back. Average traffic flow is not that low. It's not dropped very much at all. It was on something like 75%, was it? It's gone down to 69%. And casting my eye over the city within the traffic sort of overlay thing, it's not that bad. Now, out here is quite bad. On the motorway, freeway, highway, whatever that thing is, the big road at the top, that's quite bad. That's always been bad. That has been bad since the very early days of Cupboardtopia. So them coming in here is bad. The road into town is now pretty bad. That's not great either. Everything else is kind of looking almost like it did anyway. So this bit here is a little bit busier now. This junction here. This junction was also a bit of a problem. That was always very busy anyway. This bit here is a little bit busier. That wasn't really a problem really when we had the car switched off. This bit over here is quite horrendous. This bit over here is quite horrendous. This is probably our worst bit. Now this road through the middle was a problem anyway. This road here was troublesome, but now it's got even worse. This bit down here is not very good. The bit down here with the monorail things on, that's not looking very good either. Central Park bit is not looking particularly great. And that bit up here, sort of around the top of our forestry bit and through the middle of Forestry Village, is also not looking particularly good. There's a few little bits as well. This bit coming down the seafront, that is red. So that's not great either. The rest of that kind of looks as we might expect. A little bit of red on this junction here coming down through here, because that is that jam-packed? Okay, it's not utterly rammed. It's quite busy, but a lot of the streets are like this. A lot of them are lovely, green, nice, traffic flowing freely streets, which is lovely. I mean, Nerd Alley, which is where the IT sector are, in case you're wondering. That's nice and green. Look at that. That's lovely. Let's go down to our sort of touristy bit, down by the beach, the beachy bit. That's okay. Traffic's going along there quite nicely. That is not a problem at all. Up here kind of looks okay. Yeah, they're a little bit red around there and a little bit of red across this bit here, but nothing too drastic. Coming back down here. Oh, and then these junctions here are not particularly great in our sort of little sort of mini forestry area. But other than that, it's actually not that bad. Across the coast along here is not great, but overall, that is not as utterly disastrous as I thought it might go. I thought the whole thing was going to completely gridlock and be red and horrendous. So yeah, we've only lost a little bit of population from the traffic issues. But other than that, it's looking okay. Do you know what we might do? Let's come out of that. Let's have some lovely cinematic shots of Cupboardtopia as we sort of finish up this series. Now, yeah, but I'm surprised by that. I thought that was going to be far more ridiculous and therefore far more sort of comedic than it was. But maybe the city kind of does work okay, and particularly the amount of public transport we've put in. So the amount of buses, the amount of subway stations, the amount of other things. That is a nice cinematic camera view right there. Nice helipad. So yeah, all the stuff we put in, the monorails and everything else that we've thrown in has obviously, I think it's making a difference. I think it's making a difference. That is a good shot. That is a very lovely shot down those big straight roads. One of the monorail lines coming through there as well. That's nice. That is less nice. That's a less good shot of the top of some buildings. Here you go. Here's the aircon sort of events that are kicking out the heat. That's not quite as good a shot. That is the shot. Cupboardtopia in all of its big, towering Megalopolis glory. Blimps in the sky, hot air balloon, little islandy bit. This is the tourist area, so you can see the tourist bit at the top there with all the big fancy buildings and the observation tower. The stadium down here, and the bottom right of the screen there was your amusement park. There's some people getting on the trams and stuff like that. So yeah, Cupboardtopia has actually worked out pretty well. It was better without cars, because it was sort of, I'm going to say designed that way. It ended up being like that. I can't reclaim the entire design, because, you know, a lot of it was a bit slapdash or potluck. But, you know, it was designed for no cars. But now we've added cars, things are actually still working out okay. Things are working out fine. It's not gone disastrously, horribly wrong. Okay, I mean, that bit's not brilliant. that bit of road there is not great. But are they parked? Are they parked cars? I think that might be parked cars. So yeah, okay, again, not too tragic. Not too tragic. And now I am surprised. I am very surprised. Did someone just move in? There's people moving in. Brilliant. Hello, welcome to Cupboardtopia. Oh, and it looks mighty glorious. That's our forestry bit. That's Forestry Village, which is very, very lovely, and people getting the public transport. Also, let's come out of this just before we finish up here on this little experiment, which, yeah, I thought was going to be far more of a failure than it actually is. Yeah, I mean, yeah, some bits still not great. This bit here is particularly bad. But, again, there are nice green roads in other places, so it's not all too tragic. Let's take a look at our public transport. Now, yeah, I should have looked at this beforehand. Oh, yeah, now noise will have gone up because we've got lots of cars on the roads. But, yeah, I think our public transport has still maintained its numbers, which is possibly why the traffic is not actually that bad. Now, public transport is free. Public transport is free. Now, I wonder if we switch off the free public transport, if that will make a difference. That might be a fun experiment to do as well. Let's do that. So even when their free public transport is taken away from them and they are forced to pay for the buses and the trams and all that lot, they are still using the public transport. The lovely residents of Cupboardtopia, the Cupboardtopians, are deciding to stick with their public transport network rather than hop in their cars. Because traffic flow is at 74% now. It's going up. It's kind of fluctuating. But, you know, it's not plummeted down here to, you know, 5-10% or whatever. It's on 73%. And I think it only started at 75% or something anyway. Now, one thing that is obvious to me, that is sort of jumping out at me, there's quite a few of these things. A dead person is waiting for transport. A dead person is waiting for transport. I guess that's just because the hearses can't get through. Like over here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 around there that I can see at a quick glance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 at a glance. There's one up there as well. So, you know, I guess because the hearses are not able to get around quick enough due to the bad traffic on some of these roads, they're struggling to do that. But that is not too common. There's a few around, but it's not like it's showing on every single house. So, yeah, that's quite encouraging. That is quite encouraging and quite surprising. Let's check the public transport numbers. Yeah, they've pretty much sort of held fast. They've not really changed. I don't think they've dipped. If they've dipped, it's a very, very minor dip in numbers. So does that mean that I somehow managed to create a half-decent public transport network? That would be amazing, given the stress the stress and the trauma that putting all these public transport lines in caused me, that would be amazing. If I could take away the fact that I actually managed to create something that was half decent, that would be lovely. Because, oh, it caused me no end of problems. I didn't understand how it worked at all, and I redid it so many times. But yeah, I think we might have built something that works. Or we've just put so much public transport in that people just think, oh, it's fine. I'll get a bus to a tube, and a tube to a tram, and a tram to a tube, or whatever. You know, they'll make it work. But that's fantastic. But well done, Cupboardtopia. Well done. This has not descended into absolute carnage as I thought it might. It is not descending into absolute carnage. I thought every road was going to be red and it was all going to be a disaster. But no, and I am pleasantly surprised by that. I am very pleasantly surprised. So there we go. Proof that you can, indeed, this city has proved that you can build a city with no cars in. And even when you put the cars back in, things aren't that bad. Things aren't that bad. So I guess it goes to show, if you do put in a half decent and a half, I'm going to call it half competent, a half competent public transport system, then yeah, your residents will try and make use of it where they can, even if it's not free. Even if it's not free, they will still try and make use of it, which is jolly exciting indeed. And there we go. That's it. I think we finish up there. So this is the last we will see of Cupboardtopia. Yeah, ignore the big red, the death faces. Ignore that. Let's look this way. There's no big death faces. There are some there. Okay, let's look over here. Hooray for the non-death faces. Nobody die around these car parks, all right? Come on, nobody die. So yeah, that's it. That is it from Cupboardtopia for now. This little sort of experiment is over, and yeah, it kind of passed with not flying colours, but it passed its test. It got a B or something. It got a B. It didn't get an A, didn't get an A star, an A plus, whatever you want to call it, but it has passed the test. It has passed the test of cars. Cupboardtopia is now done. We are done with Cupboardtopia. So let us say farewell, and we shall move on to perhaps at some point in the future some more Cities Skylines, maybe with a different challenge. If anyone can come up with anything that would be particularly amusing, I don't know. Or maybe we'll just play a normal game. I do not know. But from Cupboardtopia, we are indeed done. If you did enjoy the series as a whole, then please do leave a like. And also please do subscribe to keep up to date with all the bumps that we do in the Geek Cupboard. But for now, thank you very much for joining me in the Geek Cupboard. And I will see you next time. How are we doing? You've just circumvented the queue. You, sir, are a cheat. Oh my goodness me, there's 12 million people that just come in from an airplane. Are you a skeleton? Are you just Skeletor? Is that all it is? You, madam. You are a pain. You are a scourge upon this earth. People are urinating on the floor.